So we're going to talk about the point center Angel Reese from the Chicago Sky. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk honestly about how that looked and whether or not it was a good thing or whether or not it was a bad thing. And if you guys agree and and appreciate actual basketball analysis, subscribe. Most people are subscribed for the drama, but there's going to be a lot more actual basketball talk here than anywhere else as well. But yeah, it was a really, really rough game for the Chicago Sky. All around, they looked shell-shocked. They looked absolutely shell-shocked. But with that being said, we got to talk a little bit about what the Chicago Sky are doing from the perspective of how they're playing Angel Reese. And again, she got 7 offensive boards, but like 4 of them were in one possession. The possession that I'm pretty sure was it 3 or 4 were in one possession. Like she had multiple offensive rebound spells where she got three in one possession. But like the rebounding was fine. On the defensive end, she just kept catching missed layups. However, one thing that they did run, and early they ran it, was they did run Angel Reese taking the ball up. Angel initiated the offense an awful lot, and I actually think long-term, it's a smart call. It's probably a smart call long-term from Tyler Marsh to do this, but we also have to take into account that the Sky are not... I don't know if the Sky are trying to win. And it's like, that's the kind of confusing thing. Like, if the Sky were trying to develop, if they were trying to develop and they were like, you know what, we'll take a couple of losses to develop Angel Reese as try to develop her as a different type of player, then I would be completely fine with this. I'd say good. Because even though her handle is better, we saw her get stripped by Dwana Bonner, but we also saw her burn Natasha Howard early on in the game from the perimeter. So for every low light, like you can look at lowlights or you can choose to look at highlights or you can choose to talk about the entire game. And I'm not going to talk about the lowlights or the highlights. I'm going to talk about the game as a totality. And this would make sense if it was a long-term picture. If it was about the long-term outcome. But it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Like, they traded the number 3 pick for Ariel Atkins. Like, they hired a development coach. They hired a player development coach. They traded the number 3 pick for a win-now player. So they're going win-now. They made win-now moves. But they're playing a style of play which can probably bodes better for a developing team. And maybe the logic is that over the course of the season, they're going to win enough games in the playoffs. Or they're going to win enough games over the course of the season to scrape in to just about make the playoffs. Because they don't even have their own pick, so there's no reason to... Like, they gave up their own pick in the Lynx trade. Which I think, if I'm not mistaken... No, the Lynx gave up 11 this year. They gave up their own pick to the Lynx next year for 11. That was it, for Van Lit. And did the Lynx give up their own pick for Carly Samuelson? They might have done that. I can't even remember what way the trades are, but they don't have their own pick this year. I don't know if the Mystics have their pick or the Lynx have their pick. I think the Lynx have their pick. But yeah, it's all around a weird thing. But I think Angel's shown flashes. Like 5 turnovers to 1 assist isn't great. But she had 6 turnovers to 0 assists the next game. And I said it in my in my previews, that Angel is going to have a lot of really bad games. She's going to have a lot of really, really bad games with this new style. And she's going to have some really good games. And today, and it's funny, box score wise, it's it looked worse than it was. Like, her finishing still really poor. And she hit the 3. The 3-point shot looks more smooth. Like, I'm happy with Angel shooting 2 threes a game. I actually am. If I'm Tyler Marsh, I'm happy with that. She pulled 2 of them with confidence. Like, because she still has that quick first step in the perimeter. So it's one of those things where, like, it can be something. And a lot of people in the comments are saying Angel Reese dribbles too high. It's like, yeah, we all saw the low light of her dribbling at her head. she doesn't. She dribbles high in transition. The problem is that like she's actually gotten good. We saw it against the Lynx. She's pretty good at spamming. She's pretty good at spamming between the leg dribbles. Not that it means anything, but the only problem is that a lot of the time she crosses over in front of people a little bit too much. So when she's not using her first step on the dribble, just burning somebody, but she's trying to cross them up. She kind of slowly uses a crossover to kind of gain momentum and burst off the crossover, and a lot like good players will strip that out of her hands. So look, it's a new tactic, and I think long term Angel Reese playing point forward is what the Sky will need if they're going to be at their best. Like the Sky are probably going to get from the Connecticut Sun a top 5 draft pick, and you look at who's in the draft this year. Like a lot of people are saying they want AZ Fudd. If I'm them, I'm going dynamic. I'm going dynamic. Like we saw how much this team like needed Kennedy Carter. Like I'm going Tania Latson. I'm going a dynamic scorer if Tania Latson is on the board. Like I'm not going Olivia Miles if I'm them. They don't need AZ Fudd. Like you don't need this. You don't need an off-ball sniper. Like they don't need a Lauren Betts. They have Cardoso. They don't need Awafam. They have Angel. It's it is an interesting one. Like if you put a Tania Latson as a dynamic guard with her, I think they can play high motor. I think they can play super, super high motor, run up and down, and then in the half court maybe run the pick and roll with Cardoso. However, yeah, it just wasn't a good game all around. Like they did not go to the pick and roll enough with Salute and Cardoso. They did not go do a lot of things enough, and a lot of people are going to blame the Angel point forward, saying Angel needs to be near the basket. But if Angel goes near the basket, then you're looking at like Cardoso playing on the perimeter, and what's the point of playing Cardoso? Like if you're going to play Angel Reese around the basket, like last year, you're trying to play double bigs inside. If you're trying to play double bigs, one of those double bigs has got to be either Beck Allen or Maddie Westbeld. And if Angel Reese is going to be consistently inside. Because I understand them playing high lows with Camilla in a little bit, but Angel's got to improve on those perimeter skills. And you know what? Sometimes the best way to learn is by getting thrown in the deep end. Getting thrown in the deep end is probably the best way to learn. And it's probably long-term going to work. However, for a team that's in win now mode, I don't get it. I just don't get it at all. To be honest, I don't get it. But yeah, that is it for this guy.